Hello, everybody, and welcome to another NintendoFuse GameChat. Today, we're talking all about Elsie on Nintendo Switch. Elsie is this action platformer roguelike title from Platonic Friends. Came out September 10th of 2024, and they were kind enough to provide us review codes for the game. So as Elsie, you take on the role of the titular Elsie as she goes through this world fighting just these all these types of different enemies, trying to discover a lot what's going on. It's a very Mega Man style story where there's robot masters, so to speak, and they get turned evil and corrupt. The Guardians and now Elsie is like the best one built by Dr. Gray as like the best android to go out there and to fight and to pretty much save the day and discover pretty much people out in the wild and try to help them and create new side quests and build up like your hub world. And Steve, I know you're not a roguelike guy, and I didn't realize it was a roguelike game, beforehand, and I warned you about it. So going into this, I know you're already at that negative of I'm not a roguelike guy. What were your thoughts on Elsie, on booting it up and playing it?
Yeah. So initially, it's a really pretty game. I think they've done a really good job with the graphics. The music is great. The controls are pretty good as well. There's a couple things with controls, specifically around parrying, that I think they need to improve. But actually, there's some things around that too that I'll get into it in just a bit. But overall, I was actually really pleased when I first booted it up and played for a little while, and then I died. And I had to be sent back to the hub world and lost my progress, lost where I was, had to restart again. And then I made it quite a ways, and then I died again. And then I realized why I really don't like roguelikes because I don't feel like I'm actually making much progress. So yeah, that was pretty much my initial experience with the game. I can get into more details because I did eventually progress, and I'll share exactly how I did that. But and had a really good time with it. But initially, yeah, I was kind of excited and enjoyed it, but then turned off by the roguelike elements.
Yeah, so I went into it thinking this was more like a Metroidvania, like initially, Mega Man Metroidvania. I was like, all right, cool. And I went through, and like you, I died, and I was like, oh, okay, well, no big deal. And then I was back to the hub world, and I realized I'm back at level one, and I'm like, oh no, like this is what it's. We're going, all right, let's do it. And every time you play, it teaches you. So the first time I played, it was like, here's how to jump, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. This is a tutorial area. And then here's how to double jump, and like I'm like, okay, and then here's how to parry, and I'm not a fan of parry. I'm not a fan of the parry counterattack because like it was getting frustrated. Like, why are you not working? I just want to get past this room, and you can't get
Right.
past the room until
Right.
you
Because
accomplish
the
the
instruction it
goal.
says is hit L to parry and hit L again to
Yes.
counterattack. And that's all it tells you. And so
Yep.
I'm guessing the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Just keep it's not working. Am I not gonna be able to get past this one screen? Yeah.
Yes, and like there's this ring that appears around you, and like I don't know, like does it go away too quickly? What they have to bring it into like the enemy, and sometimes I'm like, I did it. Why is it not working? And now suddenly it's working. I don't know, but that was a real issue. But then I got to this point where I got really doing great run. Like I had full health, and I get to this room where there's these like spinning discs, and I have to go up, and I have no idea what to do. No idea. So I'm pushing every button. I'm dashing. I'm firing at it. I'm trying to jump into it. Nothing's working, and I there's no information online. I have no idea what's going on, and I had to suicide because I went around the room every time like this is the only way to go, and I have no idea. So that beautiful run, I had to suicide, and if I knew what to do, it would be great. And they do eventually teach you in one of these beginning segments, but I needed it then. I didn't need it 5 runs later, and that really frustrated me to the point that I'm like, I'm gonna put this game down for a bit because it was annoying because I had a really good run. And then when I came back, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it again. Here's a parry bull crap again, and the counter. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. And at first, I'm like, is it gonna be the same thing? Like I thought they were random, but if I'm gonna get the same seed, then what's the point? I'm gonna get to this dead end, and I'm gonna have to kill myself, and I'm not gonna get any progress. And I didn't. I got a different seed, and I played some more. But yeah, it was just like you said, the intuitiveness. I feel like if there was a printed instruction manual that explained all this stuff, I would have been able to let me pull this out. Cool, I know what to do. But there is no instruction manual. I looked through the options, the controls. What do I do? None of that was there, and that to me was frustrating. And then the other issue I had was just some of the backgrounds. I'm like, I should be able to jump on this, and I couldn't jump on it. Like this was the background, not foreground. Um, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of frustrating. Not in the level. This was just in the hub area. In the levels was everything was clear, but in the hub area, I was like, I feel like I should be able to jump up here, and I can't. Okay, that's weird. But that being said, the controls were perfect. Very felt very Mega Man. I liked the abilities and the power ups you get, and I thought that was intuitive. The second and third time I played, the first time I had no idea that I could only pick one. I thought I read it as, oh, you have to discard one. So I found the one I liked the least, and I clicked it thinking I was discarding it, and now I've gained that ability, which I thought was the worst of them all. Then I went into the menu, and there's these like rotating wheels, and I'm like, do I have to set which one I want equipped? But I keep hitting A, and it's not selecting that one. Are they all equipped? Is it only like it wasn't intuitive, and I just wanted to have something a little more streamlined to confirm what I was doing. And I know these are tiny nitpicks, and these are things that don't hamper the main overall game, but could easily be fixed or easily explained, even if it was just a PDF file that just showed me what to do. But these are my initial experiences. Steve, let's talk about your progress and what clicked for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm right there with you with the whole thing. It's that's really my biggest issue with the game, beyond its roguelike style, and really that's not a knock against the game itself. That's just the genre, the style they chose to go with. A lot of people really like that. We're just not huge fans. But after you push through that, the non-intuitive gameplay is really the biggest issue, and it continues. So here's how I have made this through this game. There's a lovely accessibility menu in this game. And one of the things that you can do in the accessibility menu, and I find this out later, so I haven't played around with it a lot, is you can change the time in which you get to do the parry. And so, like, you can give yourself more time if you want to, which I was like, that's cool. That might actually help. But I found that out later. I haven't actually implemented it yet to try it out. But there's another fantastic accessibility mode that you can turn on, which is called invincibility. And that is how I played through the majority of this game. It was an invincible mode, because I was tired of the roguelike elements. And therefore, I turned on Invincible, and I enjoyed this game so much more. I played through because it's not incredibly challenging. Like it's a good level of challenge, but it's not like horrible. And I think if I had normal lives and that sort of thing, I get sent back to a checkpoint, all that sort of thing, I would have loved this game, in a lot of ways. But because the roguelike elements, I had to turn on invincibility. And so that way I could actually progress and feel like I'm actually doing something. But here's the deal: whenever you get to the end of, you get to boss fights all the time. You gank your way through boss fights, you get more upgrades, and after so many boss fights, you get an opportunity to teleport to another world. It's basically like you've done all the stages in that world, it's time to teleport. And you get two options every time. And so you just randomly pick one of them, and then you go to another one, and then you do everything there, and then you get two options to teleport to another one, and you can do another one, and sometimes go back to the other one. All those kind of seem to be random as well. I feel like there's like five-ish worlds that you can choose between, I think, if I'm getting that correct, but I'm not completely sure. But then every once in a while, you get to a boss fight, you beat it, and you kind of talk back to the hub world and say, "Oh, I've reached an impasse. I'm at the end." And they're like, "Oh, you got to come back to the hub world." And so you come back to the hub world. They reset everything for you. You can buy things and unlock things in the hub world, which I've done a lot of. But then you go back into the thing again. You start in the same exact place as you did the other times you run through, and eventually make it through there. You get to teleport. Keep doing this, basically rinse and repeat over and over and over and over and over again. And I keep doing this over and over and over again. I find characters that I can talk to and then send them back and say, "Oh, yeah, you should go back to the hub world." And the next time I'm in the hub world, I can talk to them. Some of them just talk and say hi, and that's it. Others give me something the first time I talk to them, and that's about it. There's a certain character that every time as I'm playing through, I get to the end of a level, I beat a boss fight, and he says, "Hey, go talk to this character when you get back to the hub world." He says that over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if I go talk to that player in the hub, that character in the hub world. He still says the exact same thing again. I think I'm supposed to unlock something in the hub world in order to satisfy that, but it doesn't tell me that. It just says go talk to him. And so I've talked to him and nothing. Um, so the gameplay itself is fun. And if you enjoy roguelites, I think you're going to have a blast. But it's just not intuitive. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I just keep playing through these levels over and over and over again. I think I've done almost everything I need to do. There's like 3 more of these things, some upgrade that I can upgrade more. I'm not sure what happens when I get all of those undone and unlocked. There's some other ones that I can unlock as well, but basically I'm just keep playing through it, accumulating some sort of the in-game financial stuff, and then go spend it in the hub world, and that's about it. So I'm not sure. Apparently, there's another player you can play as. At least they advertise that, and they're like, "Oh, there's an additional player you can play as." I have no idea how to unlock him at all or play as him. So yeah, it's just not intuitive, but it's fun. Like I'm having a blast, especially on invincibility mode. But I'm also confused.
Yeah, I did not do invincibility mode. And I think if I saw that, I probably would have just to test it out. Because like you, I had a ton of fun playing this game. The action, the combat, the controls, the it was very Mega Man, and I love Mega Man Run and Gun. Even the climbing the walls was very Mega Man X. It's heavily inspired, and I loved it. Absolutely loved that. What I didn't love was the lack of intuitive what's going on, where do I go, what's the progress, am I making progress? Because I don't mind roguelikes totally, as long as I feel like every time I die, I'm taking something back with me to make my next run that much easier, or I'm at some kind of advantage, just like leveling up in a game. And some games do that exceptionally well, and some, I feel don't. And this was one where I feel, I never got anything like that to make my next runs easier. Obviously, invincibility mode negates kind of that. It makes it
It's
so you
it's
can't die.
actually kind of funny when they're like, "Oh, you can have more, health or whatever."
Uh,
I'm like, I don't care.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think that was like one of the level. Every time you level up, you get to pick one of 3 up or one of 4 upgrades.
Yep.
It's very standard for roguelike style. And I think one of them was like get more up health, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do that because I needed it." But again, it's one of those cases where, I feel like this game in terms of roguelikes is like right there where it wants to be in terms of greatness. And it just needs just a little push, just a little push
Mhm.
to get there, and it's simple stuff. It's all stuff already in the game. It's
Yep.
just explanation. It's
Yep.
just direction. It's just guidance within the game could make the world of difference. And you could even make it so if you want, you boot up the game and a pop-up window pops up and says, "Do you want guidance and assistance in this game to figure things out? Yes or no?" And if you would no, you boot up the game as it is. And if you say yes, it gives us everything. that's fine if you want to preserve this image. Like if this is the version that the developer wanted and envisioned, that's fine. I totally get it. That being said, there is a way of alienating certain players, and maybe the roguelike crowd are fine with that. Maybe they're like, "No, I wanna figure this out." Like, that's great. You've already got the roguelike crowd. If you wanna get the non-roguelike crowd in, just a little guidance, little explanation, a little help could make the world of difference. Um, Especially when things are not like, I don't mind figuring things out for myself, but, like, when I was trying to go on those rings, I tried it virtually everything. I didn't push down when I jumped on him. That was the solution. But I had to kill myself in the game just to get back to the hub world because I didn't know what to do, and I ruined that run, and I shouldn't have had that. It was the first time I was experiencing this in the game. I know there's 2 in the hub world, but I didn't really pay attention to that. I just pushed R1 to go right in. There should have been some kind of pop-up box. Usually in a game, the first time you encounter any type of thing, it tells you this is what you need to do, or it shows you by example before it throws you into the deep end. So, I mean, for me, that's where I feel like this is right there at the grasp, at the cusp of greatness. Just needs a push. Steve, any last thoughts before we go to our rankings?
No, really just to like continue that thought. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, the menu system, like when you open the menu, like, am I supposed to equip these things that I'm collecting? I'm not really sure. One of the things also says, oh, when you do this, you get fireflies. I have no idea what those fireflies are doing. Like, apparently, sometimes I get them and they pop up on screen, but I don't know what they're doing. So, yeah, just really to reiterate what you're saying, just to explain some of the game to me, like why does this do this, what does this mean, all this sort of things, because I think if I understood it more, I'd probably enjoy it more, and I'd know what to get, when to get it, what to equip, all those different things. But right now I'm just like, I'm throwing on invincibility and just barrel through, and I go back to the hub world when they tell me I can't go any further, and that's it, and I rinse and repeat, which is fun. But I think I could probably have more fun with this if they explain some things.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, and the thing is, there is fun there. I think that's the thing that's frustrating more. It's that it's like I want to love it even more, and I feel I can love it more if just these little nuances were there. Just so if you're interested in the game, just so you know, the game is 24.99. It is available now on the Switch. There is a sale as of right now that ends on October 1st, so it's active right now. It's 20% off. It's 19.99. Normally $25. So Steve, $25 worth it. $20 worth it. Wait for a bigger sale. What are your thoughts?
I don't know what to say about this, Barry. Honestly, I've been thinking, and I don't know because, as we've said, there's a really good game here that is just. I think possibly the average player is probably going to be more frustrated and not enjoy what's really here. And so for that, I think I'm not. I don't think I'm going to recommend this game because of
At
that.
all?
I
Like
at
not
all. Like
even with the sale?
I think some things need to be fixed. Unless you want to be like me and just turn on invincibility mode and make a run for it and just go for it. Or if you're a diehard roguelike and you're like, I don't care, you don't have to explain anything to me at all, and I'll just figure it out along the way. If you find yourself in those categories, honestly, you probably got the game already, or you don't need us to tell you to get the game. But for the average player out there, I don't. I think the frustration wins out over the enjoyability, and I don't know if I can recommend it at its current state. If those things get fixed, oh, $25 is a steal for this game if those things get fixed. But right now, I just think most people are going to be frustrated.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'd say if you're a diehard roguelike, if you're a especially if you love Mega Man, then yes, I think it's worth $25. You know what you're getting into. If you're more of a casual roguelike person, maybe you play the occasional one like Hades, for example. Um, this might be a sale game. With the invincibility mode that's by default that you could turn on, that could be a swing, but I definitely think sale. If you don't like roguelikes, you don't like Mega Man style games, then I say stay away. Just stay away. But like you, Steve, if they were to fix just some of these nuances, just for the casual audience that doesn't want to sit there and figure it out, that just doesn't want to say, "Well, I just dropped $25 on a game, and now I'm frustrated because I don't know what to do." There's a lot of other games for 25 bucks or less that you do not get that level of frustration, and I think that could just be alleviated with some simple update because the game itself is great. It's just these little nuances.
Yep.
But those are our thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below if you played Elsie, and if you're telling, say we were wrong, say we're right, agree, disagree, whatever. Let us know below. Thank you again to Playtonic Friends for providing us review codes for this game. And again, it is $24.99, normally on sale to the 1st of October for $19.99 right now. And if you enjoy this content and other content like that, please go to NintendoFuse.com, where you could also go to our YouTube channel and subscribe right here, where you can get things like our bi weekly podcast, industry talk interviews, as well as other game chats just like this. Steve, thank you so much for joining me today. And for everyone else out there, have yourself a great day.